Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Muhammad Lutfi Ramadan. I am from Medical Education Study Program Faculty of Medicine and Health Education Bengkulu University. I'm from Indonesia. So in this video, I will to present scientific article with the title is Public Understanding of Cigarette Smoke Chemical Longitudinal Study US Adult and Adolescents. This article was just published on April 2020. And this is table of content which contain the first is introduction, second aims, third method, and then results, after then discussion, and finally conclusion. We start from introduction. The US Food and Drug Administration has increased communication efforts that aim to raise public awareness of the harmful constituent IA chemical in cigarette smoke. We sought to investigate whether the public's awareness of this chemical has increased in light of such efforts. And then aims. Awareness of the toxic chemical in cigarette smoke may contribute to fighting. The US Food and Drug Administration is making effort to increase public awareness of these chemicals. Two national survey 2014 to 2017 found that chemicals awareness was low among adults and adolescents. Although awareness did not change among adults, awareness among adolescents dropped over time. In addition, exposure to anti-smoking campaign and chemical information seeking behavior were associated with higher awareness of chemical in cigarette smoke. Campaign and other efforts may be needed to increase awareness of cigarette smoke chemicals. After that, method. Participants were national probably samples of 11,322 US adult and adolescent recruited in 2014 and 2015, Wave 1 and 2016 to 2017, Wave 2. Wave 1 from September 2014 to May 2015. The Carolina Survey Research Laboratory (CSRL) at the University of North Carolina used random digit dialing of landline and cellular phone that covered approximately 98% US households to require to have one national probability sample of 5,014 US adults. Simultaneously, CSRL recruitment 1,125 US adolescents aged 13 and 17 years. Using the adult frame of random digit dialing of landline and cellular phone that oversample country with higher prevalence of poverty and smoking. Wave 2. From August 2016 to May 2017, CSRL recruited a new Wave 2 national probability sample of 4,208 US adults using random digit dialing of landline and cellular phone with coverage of 96% of US households. To enlist adolescents, CSRL recruited eligible adolescents from the random digit dial adult households as well as from a 700 Nicotine and Tobacco Research 2020 volume 22 number 5. Supplemental electronic white pack frame that targeted households with 13 to 17 years old. After that, there are measures consisting of 1. Awareness of cigarette smoke chemical, 2. Discouragement from smoking, 3. Perceived source of cigarette smoke chemicals, 4. Chemicals name characteristic, 5. Exposure to anti-smoking campaign and chemical information. 1. Awareness of cigarette smoke chemicals. The survey software randomized participants to one of 6 panels. Each panel assessed awareness of 4 different chemicals in cigarette smoke for a total of 24 chemicals in survey across all participants. We then created an overall awareness measure that examined average awareness of the 4 chemicals in each panel. 2. Discouragement from smoking. Using the same panel as described earlier, the survey assessed discouragement from wanting to smoke. How much does chemical name being in cigarette smoke discourage you from wanting to smoke? The response option ranked from not at all. 3. Perceived source of cigarette smoke chemicals. The survey assessed participants' belief about the source of chemical in cigarette smoke with the item, where do you think most of the harmful chemical in cigarette and cigarette smoke come from? Response option were tobacco before it made into cigarette, tobacco additive, or burning the cigarette. 4. Chemical name characteristic. Following the method of Brewer et al., we code chemical name for 3 separate characteristics. First, we code whether chemical names begin with a number or not. Second, we code whether chemical names ended in and in id or other endings. Third, we code the number of characters in a chemical name alex. 5. Exposure to anti-smoking campaign and chemical. The survey assessed participants' self-reported exposure to specific campaign advertisement as a proxy for overall awareness of anti-smoking campaign. And then result. The proportion of US adults aware of cigarette smoke chemicals did not differ between wave 1 and wave 2, 25% and 26%. In contrast, awareness of chemical among adolescents fell from 28% to 22%. Belief that most of the harmful chemicals in cigarette smoke come from burning the cigarette also fell from wave 1 to wave 2, adult 31% versus 36%. Adolescents 47% versus 41%. Participants were more likely to be aware from cigarette smoke chemical if they had been exposed to anti-smoking campaign advertisement or had previously such chemical information. Cigarette smoke chemical awareness did not differ between smoker and non-smoker. And then discussion. The U.S. Tobacco Control Act recommends the collection and dissemination of detailed information on cigarette smoke chemical in order to inform the public. Adolescent awareness discreet for particular harmful chemicals in cigarette smoke, perhaps as a consequence of the general lack of awareness of cigarette smoke chemicals. We found that fewer than half of both adolescents and adults correctly attribute the source of most chemicals to tobacco combustion process. pointing to the need for increased effort to promote accurate understanding of the source of greatest harm from chemical in cigarette smoke. Despite this limitation, we were able to therefore measure of proxy for campaign exposure and our preliminary conclusion that for the basis picture research. And finally, conclusion. Awareness of cigarette smoke chemical remain low and uncharged among adults and decreased somewhat among adolescents. The association of chemical awareness with information exposure via campaign and information-seeking behavior is promising. More concerted communication effort may be needed to increase public awareness of cigarette smoke chemical, which could potentially discourage smoking. Okay everyone, ladies and gentlemen, that is the presentation from me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.